I just want to say how proud I am of the women who are here tonight and the women that are becoming more involved. When I teach a class and I get an email, thank you, he was going to clap for the women, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, this time last year, we didn't have half this many women. And I was just explaining to somebody out in the hallway, you know, I do my classes and I always talk about BamaCarry in all of my classes. And I've made such wonderful friendships. This table right back here have become, all three of those ladies sitting on that table took my class and become members of become members of BamaCarry, and now, like, literally, we talk daily. And it means so much to me to see women getting involved and becoming involved in this, because this is not a man's world, ladies. It's not. You've got to take your own personal protection in your own hands, you know, so you can't depend, you're not going to be with your husband every single day, and you can't depend on somebody else to do it. So you've got to take that on yourself. So anyway, I just wanted to say that real quick. Again, it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest. She is also a mentor to me. She recently certified me and my husband both as range safety officers. She is the author of Pacifiers and Peacemakers column and a featured writer in United States Concealed Carry magazine. She has enjoyed more than 16 years in shooting and outdoor industry, covering everything from writing, editing, public relations, and marketing to teaching, training, and program development. She is also an NRA instructor and Sig Sauer Academy instructor, and is also a USCCA counselor. She is the co-leader of the Well-Armed Woman local chapter, which I'm also a part of. It's a great chapter. She is an action pistol competitive shooter with an inaugural the Well-Armed Woman shooting team. Right here, I just want to say something real quick. My husband thought that he was going to challenge her at a banquet for the Well-Armed Woman until he saw her shoot. She is amazing. She holds degrees in language arts, education, and communication management, and she uses her experience and enthusiasm to share safe and responsible firearm ownership and usage with others. She lives locally in Chelsea with her husband and her 3 children. It is my pleasure to call her my friend. Please welcome Beth Alcazar.
Yes, want to give me time?
Okay, are you on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got, okay.
What time do you want me to speak till?
20 minutes.
Right. Well, thank you everybody for this opportunity to come speak with you. It is quite an honor, especially to be able to see not only female faces, but familiar faces. And of course, I'm probably not a familiar face to most of you, so you're probably wondering what in the world is this chick doing up here on stage, and what does she have to tell us today? Well, some of that is an interesting story. I'm gonna have to fill you in on a little bit of background. And that background includes starting out in the land of corn and swine. That's right, of all the states, I was born in the one known for its livestock, Iowa. And I don't remember anything about it, so please don't ask me. I moved very quickly from there to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania got some cheers. That's awesome. Yeah, Clark Summit. For those of you who watched The Office, I was very close to where that was filmed, I guess, in Scranton. That's the only claim to fame that I have. But I basically call Alabama my home because I've lived here pretty much my entire life. I know you can hear it from my accent. Or not. But let me tell you, when my parents told me that we were moving to the South, I had quite an interesting idea in my mind of what that was going to be. And they not only told us we were moving to the South, they said, we're moving to Alabama. I'm thinking, as a 9-year-old, what is in Alabama? I had no idea. Okay, I take that back. I did have an idea. There was a lot of stereotypes in my mind. I knew that the South was full of cowboy boots and denim. I knew that the South was full of the Southern drawl. I knew that the South was full of cotton and pies. For some reason, I thought that every lady on the planet was making pies for people. I thought, this is a great place to live. Southern hospitality, right? Southern hospitality. I also thought that everyone pretty much got into their cars, into their vehicles via the windows. And yes, I can thank Hee Haw and the Dukes of Hazzard for most of my perceptions of the South. That's a weird thing about stereotypes. Can you find those things in the South? Yes, you can. But what's good about those stereotypes is not every single person talks that way, looks that way, lives that way, or acts that way We are full of all sorts of different kinds and types of people here in the South. Different kinds of people who vote for different people and root for different teams, and we won't go there. I said we won't go there, and look what happened. Yeah, I got it. Here's another thing that's interesting. There are lots of stereotypes about gun owners. Not surprising. Now, if I were to say NRA lifetime member, if I were to say firearms instructor, if I were to say gun blog industry writer, you probably wouldn't imagine me. I'm just a mom of 3. That's okay, we're friends here, you can admit it. I'm not the first person that comes to mind. When you think gun owner, or when everybody else thinks gun owner, what do they think of? I'll tell you what they think of. Here are some of the stereotypes. Law enforcement. We should give some claps for law enforcement. That's a good one. What else? Military. Please also clap for the military, yes. But along with some of those good stereotypes, there are also stereotypes that we're not too fond of. Idiots. Anyone have YouTube access? A lot of people out there, they're getting their idea about gun owners from YouTube. What else? Rednecks. I've heard that one a time or two, not just about the South, about gun owners. Some people are owning it. That's fine, own it. Proud. But you know what's interesting about those stereotypes, just like the ones about the South? They're not all 100% true. And while you can find some of those people, good and bad, right or wrong, look around. We're all gun owners from different backgrounds, from different lifestyles, men, women, young, old. And you know what's really interesting about that? The reason why I'm here today is because I'm just a mom with a gun. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you guys about here today. Women getting involved with the industry. More women. Amy said it already, how proud she is to look around and see all these female faces. Well, for the last 16 years, the various places that I've gone that were gun related, I could say at least 85–90% are male. There's another stereotype out there, the boys club. Well, guess what, boys? We're here to break that mold. Women, yes, amen, clap for that. Absolutely. Now, getting into talking about women in firearms. I actually came across an article not too long ago, and I got to get this right. It was called, where is it? This is insane. Why the gun industry will never win over American women. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Yeah, this is an article I read. Why the gun industry will never win over American women. Is that shocking to you? It's not shocking, it's ridiculous. I had to laugh about that because I'm living it, buddy. And let me show you some statistics that make this really ridiculous. There's been an 85% increase in women hunters and a 60% increase in women target shooters from 2001 to 2013. That was according to Gallup. In 2005, 13% of women were gun owners. By 2011, that number jumped to 23. And I know that's got to be higher now, okay? And yes, thanks to the White House. We already gave them some props for that. In 2011, 43% of women reported having guns in the home, up from only 36% in 2003. That's from Gallup. In 2012, 80% of gun retailers reported a rise in female customers. That was directly from CNN. And a lot of those people are seeing at least 20% of their gun buyers as women. I think that number is higher. Amy, you think that number is higher? How many ladies are giving me a call saying, what gun do I need? What gun do I buy? When, where, how? What's next? Here's some more statistics. Women now account for 37% of new target shooting participants. That's awesome, you guys. That's exciting to me. You know, the only reason I'm on the well-armed woman shooting team is because if I can do it, anyone can do it. Just a mom with a gun. Nothing special, no special training, nothing. So keep encouraging that, ladies. In 2012, 69% of women favored stricter gun control laws, but in 2014, that number is down to 55. I would like to see what those reports say now. I bet it's lower. In 2014, 58% of women believe that guns make a home safer, with only 34% believing that guns make a home more dangerous. And this one was really exciting to me, over the last 8 years, CCW permits for women have increased by 270%. It's amazing. And I hate to tell the gun grabbers this might be a bitter pill to swallow, but women are not only involved, we're continuing to break the mold, and we're continuing to get involved. Look around you. Look around you. Yes, I know that there's more women hunters. Yes, I know that there's more women who enjoy competitive shooting. There's more people, more ladies that have jobs in the firearms industry. But you know what? There's also more moms. Why do you think more moms are getting involved? I can tell you the main reason. I've got three. I've got 3 reasons. And it's not me, myself, and I. My 3 kids are my main reasons. Females are still more victimized than men. That's going to be one of the reasons, right? We can't overlook those statistics. What else? A lot of women are smaller, feel like they have less strength overall. That's another reason, right? How about women want to feel empowered, want to feel like they have more control over their lives. They don't have to always depend on somebody else for their own well-being, for their own safety. And of course, most importantly, we want to protect ourselves and our families. So here's the thing. When you think about it, in a traditional house, most of the time, who is spending the majority of the time with the children? Dads? I got moms going, oh no, moms, right? Well, see, as moms, we've got a huge burden. We've got a huge job because we aren't just their guides. We aren't just their counselors. We aren't just their cheerleaders. We're not just there for our children to discipline them. We're not just the shooers away of monsters or the kissers of boo-boos. Ultimately, as moms, we are the first responders for our families. Do you want to wait on 911? Do you want to wait on law enforcement? Thank God for them, but do you want to wait? Or do you want to be able to protect your family right there and then? More women are understanding this. More women are understanding that they are the ones that are in control. So here's the problem. I'm going to play devil's advocate. If moms are spending the majority of the time with the family, with the children, and moms are responsible for taking care of the kids, why aren't more moms carrying guns? I've just laid it out there to you. Oh, yay, look, more ladies are getting involved, but what is happening? Why are we losing some of the moms? I'll give you a couple reasons why. Number one, we've got lovely groups out there like Moms Demand Action. Yes, I actually said those words here. These kinds of groups, what do? They use fear. And they go straight to the moms. You know why they go straight to the moms? Because moms make the majority of decisions for their households. Sorry, guys. Moms make 80% of the purchasing decisions for their households. So why are these anti-gun groups going for females? Because they know they can hit them hard. They can say, your children are in danger. You are in danger. It's more likely that you're going to get shot by your own firearm than it ever would be that you could protect yourself. Lies. Both face lies. But this is what they are feeding our moms. They're telling our moms, your house is going to be more dangerous because it has a gun. Your children are more likely to be hurt because you have a gun. No, no. It's about education and not isolation. Any child is more likely to be hurt by something if they don't understand it. This is the number one question women ask me, especially moms. How can I be safe in my home with children and firearms? And I ask them one simple question. Do you have an oven? Some of you are laughing. That is my one question. I turn around on them. After that, I say, how do you keep your children from hurting themselves on this oven? They could burn themselves. They could set the house on fire. They could set something else on fire. They could stick something in there they're not supposed to. How in the world are you keeping your children safe from this device? And they look at me like, okay, haha, that's funny. No, this is truth. It's the principle of it. The reason why my children don't get burned on that stove is because I am constantly telling them, don't touch it. Stay away from it. That could hurt you. Not until you're older. Whatever the case may be, I'm keeping my children away from that because they aren't ready for it. And that's the same principle that we use when we're dealing with children and firearms. Not because the firearm in and of itself is going to do anything, right? But we're keeping them away from that until we can continue to teach them, educate them, let them understand what the tool is for and how to use it, and hopefully bring them into our community when they are old enough. And of course, that depends on lots of factors, ages and stages of life. Okay, so what else? What else is keeping our moms from getting more deeply involved with the Second Amendment? I'll tell you, it's misinformation. Not just the anti-gun groups in the media, but the misinformation. Watch the television, watch the movies, and what are the heroes with the firearms doing? They are running around with their fingers on the triggers. Have you seen that? Of course you have, because you know better. And they're waving them around in unsafe directions. They've basically swept everything on their body and every person in the room. But this is what we're fed constantly. This is normal. You know, all the misinformation, all the language that's out there, all of that comes together to make people feel pretty much stupid, uninformed, inept, incapable. And you know what? I bet they're perfectly happy with that. I'm not. I'm not happy with that at all. And I'm going to tell you something. They're telling women that it is worse and more detrimental to have a gun than it is beneficial. And I'm here to tell you that is a complete lie. All of those of you who are teachers and educators in our industry, do you know what it feels like to teach a female specifically who has never had a gun in her hand before? You probably do. You've probably seen the light. You've probably watched her face. I've had women break down in tears, sobbing, not because they were so afraid, but because they finally had that opportunity to learn and to overcome. And that's what this is all about. This is what is our job, is to reach more women, to reach more moms, and to tell them the honest truth. Forget what the media is saying. Do you want to know what really happens when females learn to use firearms? I'm going to tell you. Number one, when moms or females learn how to use guns, they feel empowered. We all know that knowledge is power, right? We've been taught that, and I totally believe that. And this can be life-altering and completely life-changing when a female understands how that tool works for her protection. That fear and that inferiority, that uncertainty, it goes away and it's replaced by confidence and by control. The second thing that happens, they'll be able to protect themselves and their families. Isn't that what this is all about? This is what I've been saying over and over and over again. We cannot depend on somebody else. We are the first responders in our families. This whole idea makes it easier for the people that care about you as well. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like if your husband is overseas, he's deployed, or he has a job in law enforcement, or what that might feel like, because that leaves you by yourself in the home. How does the husband feel too, leaving behind his family by themselves in the home? For both parties, that's got to be uncomfortable, unless they're informed and they're trained and they know how to use the firearm that's in the house. Number three, the third thing that really happens to women is they may get good at shooting. I'm looking over there, right? I'm looking over there. They may get good at it, and they may want to train and train a lot. Those of you who have taken classes, maybe never have held a gun in your hands before, now that you have that power, this is cool. It's okay to admit that shooting that gun can be fun. It's okay that target practice is something you enjoy. That is fine. We should stop being embarrassed about that. You know, I mean, I used to be like, oh, having a gun is only about protecting my family. But it's also fun. It's fun to shoot. And it's really cool when you can outshoot someone who you might be married to, which I'm not going to point any fingers. The women are clapping. They know how that feels. And you know what's really cool about it is watching girls kind of switch out that old girls' night or getaway for maybe a night in at the range. I love seeing that. I love seeing that. What else might happen? They'll purchase and carry their own guns. They'll get so involved that it's not, oh, yes, I'm borrowing your firearm. I want my firearm. And you know what, guys, this is good for you too, because now you have an ally. You have someone in your house who's like, oh yeah, we need an AR. Sure, we need an AR. Let's go. You don't have that blockade anymore, right? My husband's pointed this out several times. He's like, I'm the luckiest guy alive because I come home and I'm like, let's buy a gun. And you're like, yeah, let's go. That doesn't happen in other households. Why? Often because the female hasn't had a chance to shine for herself. Does that make sense? Okay. Another thing that really happens when women get their hands on guns and they know how to shoot them, they'll encourage other women to shoot. Women are notoriously good at getting other women to do other things with them. Let's go to the bathroom. Yay, all of us, let's take a trip. Right? Oh, yes. We're notorious. Why? I don't know. We have this power. We have this influence. We like to experience life together. And you know what? It's an interesting thing, but where you have a woman who knows how to shoot a gun, you probably have a well-armed mom, a well-armed sister, a well-armed daughter, and a crew of well-armed friends. Am I right, ladies? Yes. We influence one another, we impact one another, and we don't keep it to ourselves, good or bad. Another thing, we'll be executing, living out, and supporting a constitutional right. I think in and of itself, it's pretty amazing. A lot of times we don't think that, we don't appreciate that. We don't live that. But you put a gun in a woman's hand and let her experience that and understand that and train with that, and that's pretty powerful. Finally, they'll make a difference. What really happens to women who know how to shoot, they make a difference. Why? Because they're going to be electing people who have like-minded views. They're going to speak for what they believe. They're going to share that with other people. And you know what? They're going to be a positive voice in their families and in their communities. It's funny for me, my journey with firearms. You know, when it all kind of started, it was like, yeah, we have a gun for personal protection. It's good. Then it was like, gosh, I don't really know how to use this gun. So then I learned how to use it, and that was good for about 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, everybody in this household needs to use this gun safely, properly, and efficiently. And then that wasn't enough. Everyone in my family, even outside of my household, needed to understand this. And then that wasn't enough. The fire just keeps burning, and it keeps growing, and it keeps expanding. It's not enough for you. It's not enough for your family. It's not enough for your circle of friends. All of a sudden, it becomes something your entire community needs to know. So what's really cool about being a firearms instructor is I've been posting stuff in my town's little Facebook pages, and you better believe I'm going to have every woman in Chelsea, Alabama know how to fire safely and proficiently and to use a handgun for personal protection. You better believe it, because they are all signing up for my classes, and this is great. Chelsea is going to be a safe place to live. Hopefully, all of our places will be safe places to live, and it's up to you to make that difference. It's up to you to get more women involved, because this is my passion. And honestly, I don't have a story. I don't have some bad thing that really happened, that really stuck out. You know, I'm not a survivor. I'm not a victim. I'm not a veteran. I'm not an expert. I'm really just a mom with a gun. And ultimately, isn't that the most important reason for any of us moms, for any of us to understand, and any of us to fight for? And before I close out here, maybe I'm going out on a limb, but I'm going to ask you guys to do something. I guess in some ways, maybe I am a mom who is demanding action. I'd like to think that we could just knock Shannon Watts right out of the water right now, because my kind of action is going to demand that you guys continue to do what you are doing, because you guys are making a difference. But I'm also going to ask that you continue to reach out to the women in your lives. Encourage them. Don't belittle them. Don't berate them. Don't make them feel insecure, inefficient. Don't scare them, but encourage them. There are so many great organizations, this one, for one. There are so many opportunities that women don't even know about. They don't know that they can get together, that they can share their fears, their thoughts, their questions, their ideas, that they can come together and really learn what this is all about. So encourage them to get involved, encourage them to take a class, encourage them to go out as a family, whatever works for you guys. We need more moms. And forget about all this stuff that the media is feeding us. Forget about all the stuff that the gun grabbers are telling us. Because ultimately, you only have to come up with maybe 4 words to answer the question, why do I need a gun, or why do you need a gun? And ultimately, that's what this whole thing boils down to, 4 words. If someone questions you, if a woman says, why the heck should I have a gun? I'll tell you the answer that you can give them. I'll tell you the answer that you can even show for any of the liberals who are out there in your lives who are unfriending you on Facebook or who are challenging you daily about why you choose to carry a firearm. These 4 words. We are worth protecting. Right? That is what it boils down to. So if you want to get more females involved, if you want to get more moms on our side, to grow this organization, to continue to support the Second Amendment, and to continue to show up in the firearms industry, those 4 words are super powerful. We are worth protecting. And I thank you very much for your time.